Hello, hello. Welcome to our next video about Central Rook opening. Today we're gonna start chapter 1 about Sentes Nakabisha, meaning Central Rook played by the first mover. Today we're gonna look at the most important variation, which is gonna be something like this, where Gote doesn't respect our central vanguard pawn and they're gonna attack immediately. But before that happens, let's talk about the beginning moves of the game, where we push the 5-6 pawn. The reason why we do that is if we were to open the bishop first and then push this pawn, the enemy would be able to drop this bishop. This wouldn't be a trouble in case we're Gote, more about this later, but in this case it allows them to make a horse, which is disadvantageous to us, yeah? So if you want to go for Central Rook, pushing directly Central Pawn as Sente is the way to go. Then you bring the Rook, then you open the Bishop, and you push the Central Pawn. You might have seen this shape in Swinging Rooks, where we defend the Rook-Pawn exchange with the Bishop, but if you look closely, they can exchange the Bishops and little bit break our shape. King will go here so that they can protect any counterattacks, and somewhere in the future they will be able to push this. Practically speaking, it's not a big disadvantage, but as a beginner, because it leads to a different opening line and there are some complications, different shapes you have to know, it's better to avoid it and simply push the pawn 5-5. And taking a vanguard pawn, taking this advanced position, yeah, pawn on the 5th row, this is called vanguard pawn, is really good. Notice that next time you push this pawn, it's going to activate both your rook and your bishop. It feels very powerful. Another benefit is, as we talked, our bishop line is open, unlike the other closed variations. This is why it's called cheerful or happy Central Rook. Okay, so today we're going to go into Gote's quick attack variation. It's going to be a little bit crazy, this book. Tries to do its best to explain it, but turns out this line is generally difficult. So we will try to explain it as easily as possible. So when they come here, you wanna counterattack. If you were to play slow, that's fair. But generally speaking, they just exchange the rook pawn and the rook is very active. So yeah, generally speaking, that's not really interesting to us. Instead of moving the gold, we want to push this pawn, go for the central attack, and instead of going for crazy attacks, they simply gonna take so that you cannot make a promoted pawn. And here we will have two main variations proposed by the book. Speaking from the conclusion, the first line, which is rook takes, is gonna be difficult, or book is not gonna favor it, and the other one, which is gonna be simply to exchange the bishops, it's going to also lead to a very complex opening line, but book will favor this one better. As a Central Rook player, you should know a little bit of Tesuji tactics used in both of those lines, so we're going to take a look at them both. So here we're making a check. They're going to block us with a pawn drop, and if if they were to move the gold, it makes our attack more severe because now we have two attackers. The pawn drops perhaps feels more solid. Bishop exchange with bishop fork will follow, and this is the basis of our attack. They, of course, can take this knight. Yeah, the silver doesn't protect sideways, so they're gonna do that, and we're gonna take silver. Here, there are two main variations that will follow. Bishop 3-3 is gonna be a tough one to deal with, so we're gonna look at this bishop drop 6-3 first. How are we exactly supposed to win in this situation? So we're gonna move back to protect our rook from being taken while protecting this bishop promotion. They're gonna continue attacking us. We're gonna fork those two pieces. Bishop promotion, rook takes, attacking the horse while threatening promotion. And here they will have two options. They can take the knight or they can go very aggressive. Generally speaking, beginners will be more aggressive. Yeah, they don't really feel the repercussions of their moves. They will attack freely. So I think this is a very interesting variation to check what happens exactly when they force our king to come closer to dragon. This is a very interesting proverb we will use. Early escape is worth 8 moves. We're gonna in this position, yeah, they're threatening more checks. So we're going to simply move away. We're going to come closer, we move away. And this way, we utilize the fact that they have two generals to attack with, this silver in hand and this gold on the board, and a dragon. And just using those two generals, it's really not easy for them to follow up on us. If we just move the king away, it becomes a very light and effective way to defend. It's a really, really cool variation from the book. And after this, we would be able to continue attacking us in the main variation. So let's take a look how the main variation goes. Yeah, so here they took the knight instead. We will use a tesuji to drag the gold forward. And we're going to drop this knight. And this knight is very important because, sure, it attacks the gold, but most important, it doesn't allow the king to run toward their right side. A very important tesuji. This is where we start building so-called pressure. We actually don't want to take the gold with the knight if we don't have to. That's going to be a very important point here. They cannot escape because we would just promote our rook. You see gold going here is checkmate. If they escape anyway, we can promote. Yeah, horrible. They would try to counterattack. And this is a trick. This is very important. Where is your king going to go? If your king goes toward here, they can promote and suddenly you have two promoted pieces next to your king. Sure, you can take it back. So we have silver for knight exchange, and you say, great, that's winning, right? But actually, this horse coming back attacks your attacking piece, making it really unpleasant. And as we said, if we take the gold, surely what's going to happen? They're going to run away the other way, making our pieces feel heavy, right, on this side of the board, and our king will be actually surrounded. So this is exactly what we want to avoid, this king running to this side and our pieces becoming heavy because the king takes distance away. Yeah, similarly to this previous variation here, those pieces felt heavy for our opponent. Same happens in this variation. So instead of going closer, we're going to go further away and we're going to forget about this gold. Why? Because we have a great amount of pressure and we can simply continue attacking with a silver drop. And this is much faster, yeah? In comparison to previously mentioned the horse attack, this is already checkmate, right? So we cannot do that. And therefore they have to defend. Notice again, they cannot move because the rook can promote. They're going to drop the silver. And this is a very useful technique for you to know as well. We're going to take the gold. And therefore, the piece that's defending here is a silver, much weaker piece than the gold. And we will be able to take this pawn. Because as the silver takes, the weakness is behind, we can drop the gold and win. So they're going to try to defend more with a pawn drop for one. And here we bring the horse back. Look how beautiful it looks. Previously, the rook and the horse together felt very heavy. But currently, they're working together to surround the king, right? This feels beautiful, as well as if they defend with a silver drop once more, we have a checkmate like this. Very beautiful line from the book, showing the power of surrounding, yeah. Look how useless those two pieces were in the end, combined with, escaping your king early and escaping it, forgetting about the not important pieces so that we can utilize our speed and tempo. Very beautiful line. Okay, so this went smoothly, right? The bishop drop 6-5 was punishable because we had those nice tactics over here, right? But what about bishop drop 3-3? This is where it gets complicated, mainly because if we were to take the knight, they're gonna take the lance and notice what happens. Our rook is exactly in front of our king. Lance drop would skewer the rook to the king. That's super bad, right? So because this gives us a little bit of bad feeling, maybe instead we have to take the bishop and the book line will continue with bishop drop, which is punished basically by gold up. Gold up makes the position solid. We take the lance, they take the lance, and look what happens. Once more, they are threatening to drop the lance. And if you say, oh, I can escape, nope, there is another king rook fork. So that's very difficult line. According to the computer though, Sente still have chances here and actually are winning with 300 to 400 points, which is equal to, let's say, a silver advantage. If we drop the bishop to 6-6 instead, which is an offensive, a defensive move, it's better. For some reason. I tried to find out exactly why, but it's not easy to explain. If they defend, we just throw the dragon off our camp and we castle. Apparently this is good for Sente, but as you can notice, they have a whole dragon and our rook is like floating in the literal cosmos, in the universe. So it might be difficult to play. If they try to fork, we can exchange those pieces. Rook drop next is severe. If they try to do anything else, for example, pawn drop here, it's a slow game, which for some reason benefits black. So if you're interested in this line, you can check it out with the computer. It's basically very difficult. The main idea will be that we want to put pressure over here. And like for example, if we come here, we will have this tactic or something. The computer really like this move, really sharp variation. If you like this type of lines, it's nice for you to check out. So because of this move, the book will be saying instead we should go for even crazier variation. I really don't like the way it is written, but we should go for even crazier variation with simply dropping the bishop here. Why is it crazy variation? Well, it's very similar to most famous Joseki in the central rook. The only difference is that the gold would be here, and it will lead to a crazy line like this. So I just want to introduce to you this main idea of this knight drop today. I don't want to get too much into detail, but you as a central rook player definitely should know this shape. If you simply defend this with a silver drop, which seems natural, right? Silver in front of the knight is a good shape. They have this bishop drop, which is a check. And no matter where your king goes, you're losing this horse. It looks simple, sounds simple, but yeah, here you see, this is a check. Basically, you have no way of avoiding check. Yeah, either if you go here, it's promotion. If you block, it's unpromoted knight movement, right? So every time you will lose this horse. So it's very crucial, and the only move in this position is to move the king here. You should remember this move as central rook player. And there are many ways this position can continue, but generally we do want to drop this silver because we want to take, and activate our rook somewhere in the future. The opponent will have many moves. The most popular, well-known is lance drop here. Here we're going to take the knight. The reason why they drop the lance is because of this line. And here as an example, if they pressure you, you can simply defend everything. Yeah. And the reason why this is better than the normal opening line will be that the gold is not here, which means we will have, for example, knight drop, or a pawn drop, or horse to for free. We will have those moves which will give us slight advantage in this position compared to the actual opening line. So yeah, this is all for this main line. This is how you should counter this early engagement of the rook attack here. You can choose your favorite line whenever it's the rook to 5-4, whenever it's the bishop to 2-2, or if you prefer the little bit disadvantageous yet playable gold 7-8, that's also a possibility. Choose your best one. Next time we're gonna talk about how to counter a climbing silver, which is very rare in central rook, and there will be a reason for that. Yeah. So hope you enjoyed. Hope it wasn't too difficult. But remember, yeah, as a central rook player, you need to know at least few moves from this sharp line so that you can survive primitive attacks. Yeah. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.